is the worst part. I hate this part. We sat down today with Emily from Rocky Rolled Ice Cream. Emily's on season 3. Yeah, you watch the video, you'll understand a little bit more about how she runs her business, being homeschooled, starting a business, being 15, 16, 17 years old. Really excited for you guys to check this one out. Excited for what Emily's doing. And yeah, we're going to have some fun with this new little series that we're doing and bringing in business leaders and folks and from all over the community. So check out our first version and learn more about Emily and Rocky Rolled Ice Cream. And she opens season 3 on the 27th. So check it out. This is the first one in this setup, so it's
my first time doing this too. So we're both learning.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna do this together. I have to make a mental note where everything is, and that's why he was teasing about tape on the floor. Like if I can have some sort of tape on the floor, that I know generally where the camera goes.
Okay, that's smart because there's so many components. That,
right,
yeah.
And when Brian's so much better at this stuff than I am, and I'm just trying to figure out when we can or when it makes sense. So thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited. This is really fun. This is
Emily, right?
Yes, Emily.
Emily from Rocky Rolled Ice Cream.
Yes, that is me.
Pretty crazy. We're gonna chat a little bit about year 3.
Mm-hmm. Season 3.
Season 3, yeah.
Season, I don't know.
And then we'll kind of look back on year 1 or season 1 versus season 3. But I really want to dive into entrepreneurship started at 15, right?
Yeah, I was 15 when we opened. I think, entrepreneurship is known to be a hard thing across the board. And there are advantages to being younger. I think there's a lot in the community who are very supportive of that. But there's a lot of disadvantages to being younger as well. So I do think, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, but I do think it is a unique kind of experience to do something so young.
To me, like, unique, yes, and the advantages, because, like, I didn't really get into entrepreneurial stuff until 35.
Yeah.
Ish. No, actually, excuse me. 37-ish, 36, something like that.
Something like that.
But like, I was systems have always been the thing that have kind of held me back, and we're finding out like we're getting better at them, and I am personally. So like, I feel like at 15, and you can correct me if I'm, I don't want to speak for you, but like at 15, you're still in like school mode. Still have some of that thing kind of in the back of your head, kind of reminding you to, is that true? Or
definitely. I think I'd say one thing that I'd say is a little bit unique about myself that might help with that is I was homeschooled. Right. For like, I never went to public school throughout my whole schooling. I'm graduated now, but my parents definitely set up my schooling to be like a learn from life. Like I had all my books and, the not fun stuff, but I had all the regular schooling, but they were very much hands-on, learn from life type people. So it wasn't a huge deal for my family that I wanted to try something different, in the sense that they were like, yeah, let's do it. You have these skills. We want you to learn these skills. So, school wasn't so encapsulating. I think my curriculum and the way I was brought up was maybe more well-balanced than some kids might have, where I had my school, I knew what I had to get done that week, I could do that, but my free time was used to do other stuff. I was used to having big projects and stuff, so it was a better environment than I think. I get a lot of people who come into my shop, and they'll be like, wow, my kid's your age and they could never do this. And I hate hearing that, because most kids are stuck in that system where you go to school 40 hours a week and then you have your extracurriculars and then you're working to get into college and you're doing all these things, which are great things. But I don't think I always tell people don't compare two kids' situations to mine because it's so different.
That's what we're learning on the Jackie Nation Sports side and getting a little bit more of that like inside look at students and kind of how they operate, and then moving into a digital world within that, and then we find ones that like gravitate towards it, and then we find ones that are like, hey, you know, like this isn't like comfortable for me, and or not. I don't want to say it's uncomfortable. They're just like they need some time to acclimate to different. With that being said, though, like it feels like as a teenager, your schooling was probably, I don't want to use the word swayed, but like how was it balanced? Because you have so many like actual experiences from mom and dad, and we'll get into kind of what they do and stuff later. But like you mentioned it, like you have those life skills or examples. And so how did they kind of balance? Did they use what they do on a daily basis to kind of train or teach and instruct?
I think definitely. I think my parents are, I will probably end up praising my parents a lot around this, but they were very much, like the, monkey see, monkey do. So they always tried to lead by example. And I think we had a family dynamic where we were included in a lot more. So they might be going and doing work, but I was always kind of in the background, so I could observe that, so I could kind of understand how different aspects. We'd travel, we'd go different places. We wouldn't just do school in one spot. So there was always different elements that I was exposed to. I think a lot of how I kind of view, like, not people necessarily, but kind of my worldview has probably changed. I grew up in a very religious family. I am personally religious. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. One thing that we're known for is public witnessing. Yep. We're the ones knocking on your door. But I grew up going and doing lots of volunteer work, meeting lots of people, seeing all sorts of different people. So even though I was homeschooled, I was still out around people, learning a lot of those skills. So I think that made me a little less fearful of trying to reach out, It's kind of crazy too, because like looking back, like you were learning those skills. Like 12-year-old kid being told to go knock on doors, for example, like, you're probably excited, but you're also like, I got to do this again today. Yeah. And but flash forward at 15 years old and a mom and her kids come in the shop and like, that's not abnormal for you. Like, no, because there's probably a bit of a stigma against homeschoolers, which is understandable when they're only allowed to be at home and they're never around people. So I think that can be a lot of a shock to people. But even kids who I think go to public school, and I'm speaking from my perspective, I didn't go. Yes, they have, their social circles and their friends and their teachers they see, but I feel like my generation as a whole is not taught those skills, and this isn't to like try and put anyone down. It's more of I see the people my age who can't have a conversation, who can't hold it because they're not taught that. That starts early on, and it's not something that I'm seeing more and more because I think our culture has shifted a lot where there's a lot less of that. I would agree, but I also think it's different. Agreed, and I think we're finding that spot where like, I don't know, it's hard to describe in my head, but like there are those people that just assume anything you do with your phone is bad. Mom, no, I'm right. But that's and it's because we weren't there's a gap in the education of the power of your phone or what you can do creatively, what you can do with entrepreneurship, what you can do with education, like,
And so like you have this group that's way out here that's like kids are always on their phone. Then you have this group that's like, hey, use the phone because we don't have time to watch you, which then that hybrids into phones are always bad. If you're on your phone, you're not paying attention or you're not learning, you're not doing all that. And so you watch and you see kids like you and we'll talk about it, like tech is new to you.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm learning more about throughout my teen years. I didn't have it near as much growing up.
Right. And so like, but you couldn't, I mean, safe to say you couldn't function your business without a phone, right?
Could not, absolutely not.
What do you do in your business from your phone?
I manage all of my socials, which is where we do a majority of our marketing, inventory, supply, hiring ads. I do have a laptop that I also use for certain programs that are hard to work from mobile. Educational things for myself, entrepreneurship classes and, all of the communication coming here, that's through the business and that's on my phone. Most all of it really is. Any of the business calls I need to make, any of the...
What would happen if your phone died? I mean, obviously you'll get a new one. You can get a new one, but there's a
lot in there, yeah.
Right. There's an aspect of like, you would have to pivot not only that day, but you're going to have to... It would
put a pause and you'd have to you can't, you might be able to do some physical work. Like if it's mid-shift, I could finish the shift there, but then like you can't start everything up the next day without getting that fixed first.
Thank goodness for like iCloud backups and different things like that. It's crazy because like such simple stuff is made so much easier. But because it's so much easier, we can do so much more. Mm-hmm. And I think like it's still looked at. It's like it's so convenient to be able to do that. But like you would go back and again, this isn't shade on any older business person or business owner, but like they used to have to invest thousands of dollars to be able to even start something, or they had to get a ledger book. Or a notebook, and they had to manually do inventory or manually do scheduling or manually do every aspect of the business. And like, you can do it right. I mean, you can text your friend and do inventory at the same time. Yeah. And it's wild. It's wild. And like, I'm still learning every day, like an aspect that I can be more efficient and try something different or be more organized or all that. But like you grew up with it. Like you literally, at what age did you get a cell phone or social media?
I started with a like family phone. So if I was going to a friend's house, I could call, safely. But I think I got socials at like 14. Yeah. And even then, there's restrictions on that, which I'm not knocking. There's definitely safety you have to have. But growing up, I had 4 to 5 hours of technology a week.
Okay. And it was like structured technology? Like
TV. You could watch TV, but it was about 4 or 5 hours because we had like certain things on certain days that would interfere with that because there was a set time every day. Which again isn't like I don't think I was necessarily lacking from that, but I go over to my friend's house and they've got video games or a computer or something. I don't know how to use that.
You're like,
I know Netflix. I know how to put the DVD in. I don't know how to do that.
DVD, we don't even use those anymore either. Like,
I know.
It's crazy.
So I definitely think there was a lot of like fear going into, okay, I've got a business now, and now I've got a laptop, but I don't know how to use this, and
trial by fire.
Very much so. And I mean, I do, like, my mother, she owns her own company, so she has been, like, she has given me so much advice. Like, I'm pretty sure people would pay thousands for the type of coaching that I've gotten from her. So it has been amazing, and she's definitely helped me. But there's a lot of like, okay, this is new. This is
it's still, and it's new to her too.
How do I download a file?
Right. And but they're finding new stuff all the time too with different things. All right, so mom and dad own a business. We'll give them a quick shout out. Lebanon Cleaning Crew,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You want to say hi to mom and
dirty,
dad?
they'll clean it. Hi, mom and dad. There's cameras all around.
Why ice cream?
Because it's amazing.
It is. It is.
So I'm trying to think the thought process. So it wasn't always like ice cream. I never was like, oh, what kind of ice cream shop am I going to buy? I actually discovered rolled ice cream specifically on vacation. And I say I was high on sugar at 13 years old, but I saw it and it was the coolest experience, coolest thing I'd ever had. And I wanted to do it. It started off as like, I want to learn how to do it. And then that turned into, wait, I could do this. I could make this. And it kind of spiraled into really just wanting to learn how to make that because I loved the experience. The people were interactive. It was custom. I was making my own flavor. You know, it was really fun. And we didn't have anything like that in the area. That was one thing that was so unique. You know, we don't have anything like this back home. And so that like business side of my brain was like, I could totally do this. You know, I could sell ice cream. This is so cool. And then I think more passion went into the ice cream as because everything we make is completely my own homemade recipe. So a lot of passion went into the recipe, trial and error, playing around with it. And so I really pride myself on the quality that we can produce by using rolled ice cream.
Because you're not buying, I mean, you're making, every time someone orders ice cream from you, it is essentially from scratch, right? Like you don't have.
The only thing that's pre-made is the candy bars that we mix in.
So you don't have, because you don't have like a 5-gallon bucket or, you know, tub that you're scooping out. Like,
no, we make, every morning we make, you know, the liquid batches and then each ice cream that someone orders is frozen and made right in front of them. Right. So it's completely there. It's fresher that way. You know, it's not being stored in a freezer for months and then, you know, it's kind of or freezer burnt and you're scraping it off, you know. It's,
that top layer.
You know, you just kind of scrape that off. And like no, it's very fresh. And the ingredients, there's quality. I pride myself on it being, we make our own vanilla extract that we mix into it with real vanilla beans. It's completely real milk, you know, heavy cream. We mix all that in together, but it's not powdered. It's not pre-stored, which there's a difference. You can taste the difference immediately. We also make our sugar-free and our dairy-free options. I keep touching this mic.
You're fine. You're not gonna hit it.
We make that completely from scratch too. So there's a lot of passion that goes into that, and I think people recognize the quality. When you try it, it's going to taste different than the stuff back home. It's still ice cream. It still tastes like ice cream. You know, we're not putting anything crazy in there.
Unless you want something crazy.
Unless you want something. We've made some crazy flavors.
What is it? What's the craziest so far?
It's like when, I mean, this is the nicest way. When like a pregnant lady comes in and she has that like really specific craving. And we have like 4 ladies and I love them so dearly who like have come to us throughout their entire pregnancy with their specific cravings. And, you know, where we'll get, once I mix Takis into ice cream and Doritos.
Can people bring their own flavor
if it's sealed?
If it's sealed.
We will do it if it's sealed in the original packaging. If you've already opened it, that's a health risk. Yeah, right. But if it's sealed, we
so
can
what about
make
French
something
fries?
for you.
Can I go to McDonald's and grab?
I've done that. I've got a video somewhere on my Facebook of me doing that and it tasted great. You know,
people like it. They'll dip in shakes and Frosties and all that stuff.
I'm one of those people. No, we've made all sorts of crazy stuff. I did a bacon ice cream once. That was really good.
I could see that.
Kind of like maple bacon, but I did like butter bacon.
Okay.
Like butter pecan with bacon.
So all bacon needs is butter. Like, let's just keep.
Just gonna keep adding the calories.
Let's
How much fat can we put in this cup?
Someone's diet with bacon. That's good. So where you mentioned like you were on vacation. Where'd you go?
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico of all the places. Now I think you can find them, you know, all along the tropical areas. They're more and more popular in big cities. You know, it's a newer thing to, I think, like rural Missouri, but it is something that you can find in bigger cities or touristy areas. We were in Puerto Rico when we first tried it. So it was even better, too, because you had, like, the fresh island fruit right there that you mix in. Ugh, I wish we had that.
We get those fruit trucks and stuff.
Maybe I know. We use all real fruit in our stuff. There's no, like, flavorings or syrups, and there's a quality difference.
Have you done an ice cream that was terrible?
I mean, I did try some of the Takis one, and that was disgusting. But as far as like regular ones, I don't think it's really hard to mess ice cream up. I mean, you think about it, there are so many ice cream flavors out there. Mm-hmm. It's hard to mess up ice cream because it's such a simple base to start with. So I don't know that we've had any that are like, okay, that's nasty, so much as I don't like that thing, so I'm not gonna like that flavor.
Right.
But
that's fair.
No, it's just when you get I think the way you can mess up an ice cream, if you're coming in and you're gonna make your own like custom creation, because that's what we do there. Yes, there's an appeal to wanting to add all the different options you can, but keep an eye on what you're adding and if that's gonna mix with your item, because we've had, you get like a 10-year-old kid in there and they're super excited because they've got 6 things they can mix into their ice cream, and so they're like, the peanut butter, cotton candy, like M&Ms, pineapple, just like everything. And it's like, all of those are great. Don't mix them together. Don't do that.
those kids are like me when you go to like a Chipotle or a place like that.
And you're just like everything.
Yeah, and then the poor person at the end has to wrap it all up. And then you're watching.
We've had some ice creams we cannot fit into that cup. It's like, I'm trying. Do you want a second cup?
And then, but and you're probably dealing with it. In their head, they're like, I don't get paid enough for this.
I mean, yes, there are certain things, like everyone who works in customer service has those things where they're like, ugh. But I think we keep the atmosphere. Like, I don't know that there's been anyone who's walked in there who has had a problem with our atmosphere or attitude, because we try and keep it as upbeat as possible. It is a business, and we have our team working there. They're working. They're not just there for fun. They're there because they're, wanting to make some money. So there is a balance to that. But I have had so much fun. And I know that everyone who's ever worked with us, we keep the atmosphere upbeat. We keep our guests, like, the relationship there. We're talking through that. Like, oh, is this going to, we're not trying to, like, just get through it and go to the next. We're laughing with them. We're having fun. So I think the atmosphere is definitely different than a lot of like maybe bigger chain restaurants.
Right. So would you say it's safe, or would you describe purchasing from you or going into, like, you're almost, maybe help me understand this. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a long-winded question, I think.
You're good.
But if you had to look at Joe customer coming in your store, how much are they purchasing or buying the experience versus the ice cream? Because it feels like you've made that a priority, and you've said it right here. Like,
definitely.
It's not like you just walk up to someone and you're like, I'll take a vanilla with some chocolate. Like,
yeah.
When I went in there, my little girls went in there, like, smiles, decorations, colors, bright. Like, and to me, that's the value, especially in a crowded world of service / retail. Yeah. Like, you've got to have something that differentiates you.
Makes you stand out.
Right.
I do think the experience is a, huge priority for us, because that's the experience and the product are the two things that are going to get someone back in there, which as a business, that's our goal. We're trying to get customers to come back and come back. I would say, as far as like ratio, I think up front, like, we put the effort into, we have our recipes. We know that we have.
The product's good.
We know the product's good. And I'm not just saying this is my opinion. We always are asking for feedback. We're always doing that. And we do have a good product. I would say our product is high quality. Having that peace of mind, we can then focus on the experience.
Right.
Rather than, like, oh, is this one, there's not really that second guessing. Every time we make batches, everything is sampled. It's a horrible job, really, everything is quality checked. We only purchase the highest quality ingredients, because we know that having that peace of mind in the back of your head while you're focusing on the experience, you're not there nervous. Oh, are they going to love this? Are they going to hate this? yes, sometimes people might have different opinions, but I can confidently say, I'm going to say this and like, no, I don't think we've had a single person not like our ice cream thus far.
Right.
And
they might not like what they chose.
Yes.
But
and I will say we've been really good at like, if they take a bite and we see them push away, do you want us to make you something different?
Right.
You know, we'll take that back. Let's make you something different because we want people to enjoy it. For me, there's pride there because that is my recipe. I didn't take it from someone else. That took me a few months of working through and finding the recipe I liked the most. And so I have pride and I want people to enjoy this. I made this. I want you to enjoy this. So I think those just kind of coincide with, you know, this is the thing I have created. Please come enjoy this, you know? And the transactional part is really just this. I gain my joy from knowing that people are enjoying what I'm doing. And the transactional is just fueling me to keep doing that.
I gotcha. So and that's the thing. So that spawned a bunch of other questions.
I know. I ramble and then I'm like,
you're fine. I'm a rambler. I'm a long question asker.
You're gonna be editing this later and be like, wait, how does this? We're gonna loop this back over here.
You wear a lot of hats, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide? Well, let's go through the hats. How many hats do you wear owning your business?
As far as the business, I feel like there's I don't know what the titles of these hats are going to be, but there's like the customer service. There's the face of the business. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this right now. This is kind of a hat in itself of I'm the face of the business. I'm here kind of talking about it. There's also the manager or team lead hat. You know, I'm responsible for making sure that all of my team are, you know, making sure they have the time off they need, making sure that they're working well, making sure that their training's good, making sure that they're comfortable and are able to do their job well. All the fun scheduling and stuff. And then there's also the hat of one, I'm also working. I'm also there working. You're doing the actual job. And then the backside of it of budgeting, inventory, you know, making sure everything's going right, getting all your permits, making sure everything's in line. So there's like a lot of different things that are going on at the same time. I think that's been one thing that has probably been the biggest struggle for me is I enjoy all of the different jobs, but managing, prioritizing and knowing, okay, what do I do from here to here to here has definitely been the difficult part.
So you've got the brand. Mm-hmm. So we'll call that the brand. The brand. We'll lump marketing, social media, advertising. That's the brand side of things. You've got the employee, which is when you're working because somebody called in sick or whatever. You've got the employer side where you're the manager. You're doing all of that. You're doing I guess another one would be like the kitchen manager. Yeah. If we're trying to figure out because again, you're handling prep work, you're handling ordering,
the quality,
so you're wearing it right there. We're at like 4 or 5 hats every day. So next question is, when do you decide, how did you as a business owner decide it's time to leverage either an employee you had or a new system or an expense? When did you decide, okay, I'm handling these, I'm wearing all these hats really well, but if I invest in a new piece of equipment or another employee, I can 10x my productivity on the other side. How do you make those decisions?
I find that I don't mind doing the work. I don't mind, clocking in, clocking out, going. But when I notice that when you have so many things that now this thing and this thing you're not doing as well. When I notice that, okay, I'm doing all this stuff, but because I'm taking all of this stuff on, now this isn't doing that good. And now I'm kind of dropping the ball on this over here. So then that kind of comes down to a pride thing, I would say, where it's like, hey, you can't do all of this. You're not doing it as well as you should be. Time to bring in this new thing so that you can. Because I definitely think there is a kind of, it's kind of a challenge. Like, oh, I can do it all. You know, you want to be ambitious. You want to, you know, work so hard, but you do also need to know when do you hire a new team member? When do you do that? Because you're doing all of this, but you're not doing it as good as you were because you've got too much stuff going on. So, you know, and that's why it's good to have a good support system who can tell you how it is and be like, hey, you're trying hard, but you're not doing good there. You need help. Let's rework this.
The delegation aspect of it. But then I think for me and looking at the things that we have going, it's like as a business owner, you're so like pounded with opportunities from other people to help your business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
then they'll hit you with like, this is really cool and could save you X. But then you dive in and you're like, well, that also cost me X.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, okay, well, every time you make a batch or make a serving of ice cream, then it's digging into the margin. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, well, but is that going to get me more people through the door? And so if this is going to make me, you know, if it's going to cost me 5% of my margin to add this service, but I'm going to get 25 more servings or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I apologize. But it's just, I think it's a struggle. And I think is that the kind of thing that you lean on your mom and your family for? Or what do you lean on other people for?
I definitely think, I mean, one, I like to think I'm fairly intelligent, but I'm also young. So there's a difference between being smart and being maybe more naive. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a bit of a difference there. And I genuinely don't have, you know, as much experience. I don't. I'm still learning. All these new things. So one thing that I found to be a little bit of a challenge, kind of like how you mentioned, you know, oh, you can do this, but that actually ends up costing you that. It is, I'm learning more and more to say no to people, which doesn't seem like, you know, you're like, what do you mean? But like, here's this opportunity, here's this opportunity, here's this opportunity. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to say yes, yes, yes. No. Learning to say no, learning to be the bad guy or looking out for yourself or stepping back and not getting overwhelmed and swept up in this because it's so new. And I think that's something regardless of age, that when you start a business, you've got to learn. You've got to learn things sometimes the hard way. But my mom's, she's been through a lot of these things, you know, and so she helps me kind of be like, okay, just take a second look at it. Take a second look. What are we seeing? How is this going to benefit you? Is this the thing you want to say yes or no to? And there are a lot of really good opportunities that, you know, we say yes to and it's amazing. And I'm happy to have all those things. Especially for me as well. I would say there's ambition there to when I get, here's this opportunity, here we'll help you do this. It might be an amazing opportunity. You know, there might not be like necessarily a catch to it, but I can't do all of it at the same time, you know? And so it's learning to say, this is a good opportunity, but no, or I can't do that right now.
How do you, when you're making decisions for what you're doing, like how do you decide when or where it's time to put the cart before the horse, so to speak? Does that make sense? Kind of, yeah. Like an example we have is like we want to produce and we want these cameras rolling every day, right? Mm-hmm. We want to be doing something every day in that regard. But like we struggle with like if I have an idea for some content or a show, it's like the options are, well, do we self-fund it? Mm-hmm. And go out and spend the time and the energy and the scheduling, or do we go out and sell the opportunity? Meaning like, do we go out and find sponsors or find partners or find people who are believing in the funding of what we're doing on the Jacket Nation side? Like that's paramount because businesses are choosing to put their name in front of Yellow Jacket Sports and activities and all those things. So it's a different process than the LEBtv side because like it's just different. So like have you had an experience like Maybe it's buying a piece of equipment or something where you see the potential and the benefit of making that investment, but you're still like, it's going to cost me. I'm eating into my margin pretty high. Like, have you had those sort of situations, or how did you approach them? If you did,
I'd say there's been probably a couple. One, we did just get all new equipment for this year, which was a fun chunk. But it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great.
What made that? Like, was it time?
It was time. One of our plates did break down, and
by plate you mean the frozen
freeze plate? Yeah, like the
freeze plate,
the big giant like cold thing. And so that one of them had broken down, and the layout, we have been fortunate enough to have enough people that we weren't able to keep up as much. So then it's like, you got to cut into that profit so we can continue keeping up.
It's a tough pill, isn't it?
It is. It's like, but we're doing so good, but now we're going to go down, but it'll be good.
Because then you had to put the other hat on of how do I profit off of this, like, which is the tricky part in doing every aspect of the business, because you're going to sit there and spend another 30 hours that week being the employer, managing, doing all that. You're going to spend the time making the ice cream, making the orders, the prep work, all of that. But then you're like, I got to spend time. I got to tell people we have new options. So then you put your marketing hat on, your brand hat on, and then like you're spinning sideways because and you're just like, it's crazy, huh?
It is. It's so long.
And it's not in a book either. Like, that's the thing. Like, regard the education, whether it's collegiate education or it's homeschool or it's public school, like those stories aren't there.
Yeah. That has been, and that's why I'm thankful that I do have, my mother, but even then she'll be like the same thing. She's like, I've done one thing, but she owns a cleaning company and an ice cream shop. They're so different.
Opposite ends.
Yeah, they're opposite ends. There's similarities. There's good knowledge that she has, but it's new. And that is the hardest thing. Is what do you do first? What do you do? Like, you want to work, you want to do something, you're feeling productive, and you go look at your to-do list and you're like, well, if I do this, I'm not doing this. And if I do this, I'm not doing that. And then you're sitting there, and no matter what you do, you don't feel productive. And that has probably been one of the biggest struggles with me is, I know I've achieved quite a lot, but this constant lack of like, I never feel like I'm being productive. I never feel like I'm accomplishing anything. There's no sense of accomplishment. And really trying to work more on myself, and less, at a certain extent, you do got to take the pressure down on yourself a little bit. You still need the pressure. If you're going to do something like starting a business, you've got to be able to have that drive and that pressure. That is an important aspect. But sometimes you just got to give yourself a little pat on the back, because yes, you have all this stuff to do, but you can only do one thing at a time. You got to just.
So when is the time that you're like, I did it, or like you just sit back and breathe? Is it weekly? Is there little moments? But then, because you're seasonal, which do you think, like, do you think that's good? Do you think that you would be as successful if you weren't?
With seasonal?
Yeah.
Where we're at now, I don't think we would be doing as well if we were open all year.
Right.
I know it seems a little odd because, a lot, like, big chains are open, right, all the time. But for being a smaller business, you have to start somewhere. And it's not, like, I love ice cream when it's cold. I know lots of people do, but there is a genuine difference immediately. Just as soon as it starts dropping temperature, there's going to be a difference. There's it's not even so much, oh, I'm cold, I don't want ice cream, but it's, the culture, the weather, there's not that
the
thing
holidays,
anymore.
Busy, like, you got all sorts of things going on.
All sorts of stuff going on. So it definitely, I think our business right now is doing better because we are seasonal. And this is where I've also got to be like, for me, I think, like, no, I'm not like, oh, I couldn't work all year, but for how much it is at such a younger age, I don't think it would be as beneficial for the business or myself to be open all year right now. That's not to say I go and sit home all winter. I'm doing tons of work, I promise. But, that there definitely does need to be that kind of, when we're open, I am go, 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 go. And so that little bit of like a break, like, oh, we did it. It's kind of almost necessary to have that at the end of the year. And then you can look back and calibrate and change everything up. But I do think where we're at now, the business benefits more from being seasonal. And, as we grow, that may change. I know we're opening up our summer hours to have some more hours. But I do think we're doing better now because we're seasonal than we would be if we weren't. Right.
Is that kind of, do you set goals for yourself throughout a season? And then we talked with Dr. Jeffrey Brown, about how he baby steps, things that are achievable so that you're not just,
yes.
And in your case, you don't have goals that are only achievable by the 9th month.
No, 100%. That is one of the big, that's like a huge thing in my family has always been like goals and bringing them down. And yeah, you have to have the small things. You have to have the daily things, and you have to have the weekly things and the monthly things and then the seasonal things. You do your daily things and then they'll get you to your weekly things. Your weekly things will get, you have to kind of have it set up like this, a staircase. Because yeah, you can't just be like, oh, my goal is to have a successful season and then just go for it. That's not how that works. You have to.
Yeah, because you got to celebrate. And you have to see achievement.
Yeah, I think that, and I will say one thing that has helped me probably with that is having staff, having team members, because as difficult as it can be to kind of be wearing that, okay, now like that manager hat, making sure, focusing on them can actually kind of help you focus on yourself. You just had a rush, and you went through the rush, crazy Friday night, and then you step back and you make sure they have that sense of achievement. You're also going to gain that sense of achievement.
It develops a culture. It develops a, I don't know, I think, and I know, like, as an employee, when I was an employee before I became whatever it is that I am now, multiple different things, but like the littlest appreciation or the littlest acknowledgement that what you did helped the goals of all means a ton. But like, it's just, I don't want to say it's not celebrated enough, because there are companies out there that do that really well. But like, I don't think the mental side of it's maybe approached at the level, and I don't think we've ever really explained how much that does for that hourly employee or intern, or, because they feel like you have to understand why someone's there, I think. Like, in your case, a lot of the times they just want some spending money.
Yeah, summer job. We don't just hire teenagers, but we're an ice cream shop that's open seasonally. We get, we have other teenagers, which, I mean, I'm a teenager, so duh. But
well, that 20 hours a week is, to them, that's the end goal is a paycheck. That's the baby step that they need. But then it's the goals within that 20 hours that they're there, or 10 hours, or whatever they choose to work.
Exactly.
But they're not looking at it from that perspective. They're like, okay, this week I've got to work Friday night and I would rather be with my friends.
Yeah.
But like getting through that Friday night and that rush, and like that's the goal, but it's happening internally in their head. And it's happening in your head from a manager, from an employer, a business owner. So like acknowledging those things, but we never put a label on it. I don't think. I don't feel like we did. And maybe I'm just rambling at this point, but I don't know. It's just neat to see how people break down the goals and the tasks and the to-do list, because it's just unique to each business.
I mean, I agree with that. I think with our team, one of the things that I pride myself on is like I'm not expecting people to want to work for free at all. Like, I'm going to pay you because like I like spending money. You like spending money. Totally get it. But when we hire people on, and I think that's probably one of the benefits to working for a smaller business is we are building something here. So no, we're not expecting you to step into the manager role at the, minimum wage or whatever. Like, that's not expected at all. But everyone on my team, you talk to any of our team members, I'll talk to them about like, okay, here's my marketing goal that I'm working towards right now. You have your daily tasks, you're doing that. I'm not expecting you to do on this. But then when they're like, oh, she's working towards that, hey, maybe try this.
Right.
Or, I'm always there working with everyone. So we all have like similar tasks, but I always try and keep everyone on the loop at where we're at as a business, what we're working towards. I'm not going to bore them with the paperwork side, but guys, we want this many 5-star reviews by the end of the week. This is our goal. I'm working towards that. That I'm working towards that. And I do think people are genuinely and kind of inclined to help with those things. But I think keeping your team in the loop really helps with that culture of, this is what I'm working on. This is my goal right now. You're doing your thing. That's amazing. I'm not expecting you to step into this, but as people like to know what's going on. Right. Humans like to know what's going on.
They want to feel valued.
Exactly. And
they want to understand why you said go do this, and that they don't really understand because they're not being paid to understand.
Exactly.
They're being paid for the work, but also you do this work, the business gets this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we all win.
Exactly.
And but I think, like I said, that's where I think it's never really been looked at from that angle. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of younger kids are always, they're asking why more. And they're not asking why because they don't want to do it. I think they're constantly looking at newer, more efficient, different ways to approach.
And I think as a culture, especially like here in the U.S., we've gotten into this like culture of, you do this, you do this, you do this. This is how your life goes out. Mm-hmm. We're conditioned to kind of be worker bees. I don't know if that's I don't know.
It's fair.
And I think this is kind of becoming where this generation is starting to notice that more and more. And so it's a little bit of a, there does need to be a certain level of, worker bee mentality. There does need to be a certain level of that.
There's people that are great at that.
And those people are necessary. Mm-hmm. But more and more, we're kind of seeing the culture shift to where it's like, yeah, they're asking why more. They're trying to understand. They're kind of stepping out of those boxes a little bit more. And there will always be pros and cons to that. But I think it's just something that it's not necessarily, I think a lot for my generation are considered very disrespectful. And I think my generation's called very lazy. And, we don't do any, all sorts of things. And every generation doesn't like the next generation. It's like historical, But I don't think there are always going to be people who are disrespectful or people who are lazy. That's just part of it. But I don't think people are realizing that it's not coming from a place of disrespect. It's coming from a place of curiosity. Mm-hmm. And, we're really trying to, like, this new generation, we're trying to figure it out just like all the other generations, but back to the phones, right? We're one of the first generations, like, yeah, as millennials, you guys had the internet and stuff, but we're really
calling me a millennial?
I don't know.
I have this conversation.
Gen X, probably.
I think I'm between Gen X and millennial.
What year were you born?
2000.
I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
1983.
Oh, you're the same age as my dad.
Yeah. So, it's like my age group resonates with millennials. Mm-hmm. Because we were breaking into technology, mm-hmm. but we also resonate with boomers because like our parents were or are, yeah. Or we went inside when the streetlights went out because we didn't have cell phones.
That's the life.
Right. Right. Like, and so, but it's really cool because like we make decisions. We're starting, and I know I personally do, like we make decisions like the younger kids make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it worth being on our phones? We learn from our phones. Like we're the first kind of YouTube university people where we've watched it progress. We're the first ones to dive into social media and Facebook. Like,
and so now you've got this, generation of teenagers, young people in school my age who are this is newer, where now we're being raised with it. It's not like something you discover, it's like we're being raised with it. So there's definitely a difference. There's, we're developing differently, I think, in certain ways, in certain areas.
I always look at, I think lazy is just older people's way of saying different. Because
I can agree with that.
Because it's not lazy. It takes a lot of brain power and time and energy, especially in like the social media world, because like you're putting your business and your brand out there every time you communicate online.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to build and you want to be authentic and you want to have your brand at the face of what you do because it pays the bills.
It does, yeah.
Like, and it's crazy because like, I think there's been a very not good way of explaining how the internet really works. And I look at like what's happening across social media and like I had this conversation yesterday, like TikTok. I don't know if you're on TikTok.
I have. Yeah, we have a business page.
People are up and down based on if they like TikTok. But like you can scroll TikTok and you'll see somebody selling a T-shirt. And you'll scroll TikTok and you'll see somebody talking to people in a live. They've got, they're sitting there doing their makeup or whatever the case may be. But like most people imply that the first version of making money on TikTok is the only way. So if they get on TikTok and they see somebody selling a T-shirt, then, only way you can make money on TikTok is selling a T-shirt. But you make money every day on TikTok. It's just a different way of making money.
We're using that to get people over here.
Right.
It's like a...
Right. And the social media thing, like, it started as a place to put pictures of your family and your friends, but in reality, it was media the whole time. It was the new newspaper, the new television. It was all of those things. And I just think we weren't really, like we were blasted with it and a lot of people were hit with it. And then they never like stopped and were like, whoa. What am I looking at here? Like,
exactly.
Like Billy and his friends having fun, is really cool to see, but there's a machine running in the background that's designed to make money for that machine at the expense of photos of you and your family.
Yeah.
But they just never correlated that. And then it became, well, it's Facebook and it's dumb. When in reality, it's not. Like it's changing lives. It's new ways of doing things. So I want to segue into, I want to dive into marketing and how you do things a little bit. It's fun. I'm always looking at, like, I'm learning and researching and watching and doing all the stuff online. But like, I really think I've narrowed it down now to we're in an attention economy. That's what I'm basing how we.
And I'm not going to pretend
grow.
like I'm any better. No,
right. No. But so like, what does that mean to you? Attention economy. If you just saw that, like, what do you think that is?
We are definitely in a culture where it's very consumerism, but there's so much being thrown at people. You have to stand out. You have to catch people's attention because I open my phone, I could spend all my money in a minute. It's easy. It's easy to purchase and consume things. So you have to get someone's attention because there's an ad everywhere,
But there's not ads, but they are ads.
Exactly.
Right?
There's always something, there's always something. So you don't want it to just be like, oh, here's another thing and another thing. You have to have someone's attention. You want people, for my business, me specifically, I feel like I want people to want to invest in what we're doing. Ice cream is an impulse purchase. So there is a little bit of you want to throw, here's a really cool picture of an ice cream. Now you want it. Your mouth's watering. You come buy ice cream. There's that aspect to it. But you also want people to want you to have, why is someone going to give us, their money versus Dairy Queen?
Mm-hmm.
There's quality of ingredients, but is it also our story, our values, how we're set up? Then there's a balance between that. But it's so easy to spend money now. I think people are aware of, it's like you want to make sure you're spending your money well.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to consume things, you want to have stuff, but people are like, oh, I could throw all my money in Temu here or DoorDash or whatever, but people feel better.
Are you guys on DoorDash, by the way?
We are not. No, not yet, because it's hard to ship. It's hard to deliver ice cream.
Right.
It melts. So it's a little tricky.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you're totally fine. So it's people want to feel like they made a good purchase because they're going to buy ice cream either way.
Yeah, people are going to eat ice cream.
Oh yeah, people are going to eat ice cream, but they want to feel like they chose the ice cream that was the better choice. Not just quality, but also I gave my money to the small business versus the chain. That's definitely a big culture thing right now. Right. And I'm all for it, obviously. So you want to make sure that people feel good about their purchase. And I think I've rambled.
I think what you're getting at is if they choose to spend money with you, you want them to fulfill their why.
Exactly.
Why? I needed something to do with my kids this evening before we went to bed.
Yeah.
Why am I helping a small business grow? Mm-hmm. Like did I get a break? Like, did I move out of the typical aspect of, walking in and ordering something? This mm-hmm. was a little bit more of an experience. Did I teach my kid?
Quest,
Right. Yeah. Like, so I think you're hitting that. Like, that's important to you is figuring out how to get someone's attention and how to answer their why would be how I would, if I was just like psychoanalyzing.
Like, there's thoughts there, but they come on.
No, but it makes sense and it's important. So like, with that being said, what is like, define your brand as far as Rocky Rolled?
It's definitely something I'm still working on because it's a tricky thing to kind of figure out. As a brand, we're trying to bring community back. That is, I think, one of the biggest goals for us. One, it's fun, it's exciting, it's new, but we're trying to bring that sense of community back. We're losing that, especially here. In smaller towns, we have it more, but we're starting to lose it. We're growing.
Right.
So as a company, I think our goal is to create those connections to where you're going to get ice cream. You're going to get, a delicious treat, but it doesn't, our brand, we stand out in the sense that we want to stand out as I walk in here and it feels different than the other places I walk into.
Right.
So really just bringing back that sense of community, that customer service. I don't know if that's like a good answer to that or not.
No, I mean, if I'm listening to what you're saying and kind of understanding, like the main thing is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream is the main thing.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get a delicious treat.
Yes.
But you're also going to get some nostalgia with vibes of that little milkshake shop or,
mm-hmm.
That thing that our grandparents used to do and was so cool.
Yeah.
But you're also, to me, you're embracing younger community with, like, even you said before we started talking about, like, take pictures. Like, this is a spot that you can have fun.
Exactly.
Take a family picture. Take a a picture with your friends or why you're celebrating or whatever, because the marketing side of you, let's be honest. I mean, yeah, you want people to want to take pictures, but like that's an opportunity for you to show your brand off and show the experience of coming in. And so I think, it's different for you and it's different for Rocky Rolled because it is a very niche kind of thing, but like it's still the same thing. The main thing is the main thing. Come in and get some ice cream.
Yeah.
And
we didn't invent ice cream.
Right.
It's still something that you have certain expectations that we meet when you walk in there, but no, I'm
a big fan of R&D. Rip off and duplicate, research and development, like whatever. Do you find yourself like doing that in your marketing? Do you take bits and pieces, or do you have like a marketing mentor or something like that?
I definitely think I take bits and pieces, when I'm doom scrolling, I'm working.
Researching.
I'm researching.
Research and development.
Not on the clock or anything, though.
Wait, you are the clock.
I know. It's hard to reinvent your whole terminology,
I get it.
But no, there's definitely. I definitely. I don't like copy paste. I do like things to feel original, but I'm definitely looking at what works. Right. What do I see? What pictures do I like? What I'm going to recreate? I know this year we're going to be recreating a lot of TikTok trends. Mm-hmm. So I apologize in advance. No.
Follow. TikTok trends are great though.
Exactly.
But that's a prime thing of why not do that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not original, and you can.
But we're not taking their video and then just putting our logo over it. We're making it. We're having fun. And that's the whole point of, having a social media is to share and
if it's an attention economy,
you need to keep it.
You need to be getting their attention. And if it's working for a song or a dance move, why can't it work for ice cream?
Exactly. I agree with that.
But then that blows people's minds, because then they're like, then you get the people that are like, you just want to be on camera and you just want to dance. But like, that's the thing. It's calculated.
And it's also a lot more difficult than I think people realize. Like, I'm not going to say it's like, tough physical labor necessarily, but when you're working on a ship and you're like, okay, it's slow, now let's film a video, at least for me, it's so out of my comfort zone. So there's also like a lot of thought has to go into that. It's not just like, oh, this is fun. Some of it's fun, but it is difficult. Like, what do we film? How do we film it? This picture looks terrible. We need to retake that. There's some difficulty to that as well.
And it's just changing. It's always changing. It's constantly like, you feel like you got to keep up, or did you get to the trend in time? Because if you spend 20 or 30 minutes making that, like, because it's not easy. Mm-hmm. Like some people, it's simple. They just turn their camera on, say something, or they dance or whatever. But like, if you're not a great dancer, or you don't speak well, or you feel like you don't, like, it takes you time, because you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel confident that you made a video that represents your brand.
Exactly.
And so it's I don't know. It's different. I got a couple more for you and we'll kind of wrap up. Year one. Season 1. I'm sorry, I keep saying that.
Season. It's
Season 1, Season 3. What are you doing as you get ready to open? You open on the 27th.
Yep, this Friday.
What are you doing in these days differently than you were doing in Season 1?
I think one, I'm to the point now in Season 3 where I'm delegating more tasks. Even, before opening, I've got our team members coming in, and
that's the other hard part too, because you're writing them a check, but there's no money coming in yet. No one's handing you a card.
Are you sure? It's a fun. We're just hanging out. What are you talking about?
That's the old let's paint. We're having a paint party. Like,
I did that. I did that before opening because I had to paint, and I had some friends that wanted to paint, and I was like, "Hey, you can come paint with me."
Yeah, well, I'll get you some pizzas. We'll make some ice cream.
Yeah, I bought them sandwiches. They're fine.
I get it though. So you're delegating. You think
Yes.
that's probably your biggest?
That's definitely one of the biggest things. And I mean, our systems are newer. I think it's not necessarily that we're doing things differently. We've just learned so much over the past couple of years that there's always chaos no matter what, but it is so much smoother the more systems you have in place. That's the hard part for me is it
goes back to the very beginning.
Yeah.
The systems.
It's important to have those systems, and I'm bad at putting those systems together because I'm like, okay, here's the task. I'm going to do this task.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're going to sit and we're going to write down every single little thing that you do to complete that task, and then we're going to systemize that. And now that I have those more and more systems in place, and that's, I mean, all year I'm still going to be working on getting more and more in place because there's always something that can be improved.
Do you have a system to create the system?
Kinda, yeah. Kinda.
I do.
Yeah.
It's my friend ChatGPT.
I can't say that. No, it's controversial. No.
That's
no.
been
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
that's been the biggest lesson I've learned or that I've maybe taken from a weakness to a strength is like, if I can get the system done to a level that I can feel comfortable using it,
mm-hmm.
then sky's the limit.
Exactly.
But I get lost in like the system because I either get overwhelmed
mm-hmm.
or I'll get distracted midway through as I'm building it out.
This is like one of the most relatable conversations I've ever had.
Well, even in these conversations, like I had an idea in my head of where we would talk about, but then like as we're talking, you start to think about how you would do something differently within your own business, but like that system thing. And I think that's, for me, that's the biggest difference from my season 1 to now in season whatever it is at this point, and subset category business A, B, C, or D. But that system thing, because and that's why I was kind of talking to you about at the beginning, like you're kind of fresh out of systems or fresh off of learning systems because you were in school.
Yeah.
And I haven't been in a formal education setting since 2005.
I wasn't even alive.
Ish. You weren't even alive. It's crazy. But so for me, like I joke a lot of times, I don't know how to learn. I feel like I don't know how to learn, but I feel like I learn once I can relate.
Okay.
And so if I can understand the why
mm-hmm.
and understand what comes at the end, then I can start to fill the middle in. And then it took me a lot of time to be able to, just until really this last year, but like real estate was different because like I was my own boss essentially from start to finish. So if a client needed something, if I didn't do it, the only person that could tell me that I did it wrong was the client.
Yeah.
Where with the other things that we do in Jacket Nation Sports is specifically like we set out and we said, here's what you get for a sponsorship.
Yeah.
And this last year was the first year that I was held accountable for what they got for their sponsorship. And so I was able to start building a system that made sense, build a system on how we can set up streams for games or how we can set up Jacket Talk for our conversations. And now I'm able to do what we're doing here and move those systems into the LEBtv side and have conversations like this, but be consistent, high quality, and do something different to help more people and to tell more stories and share things. So that's why when we, again, back to the beginning of the conversation, like the system side for me is always the most intriguing because if I just get comfortable with it, I can do anything.
Yeah.
But it's like,
it's hard. It's so hard.
It's so well, and then you second guess, or in your case, you go from it's time to build out a system and understand it to, well, now I gotta roll ice cream, or now I gotta order supplies, or now I gotta make a Facebook post, and like, but then you go back and you're like, okay, well, at what point is it time to hire that person?
Yeah.
At what point is it time to go, oh man, no one's swiping their debit card. for a month or two, but I got a month or two of prep work.
Yeah.
And I gotta pay these guys to come in because I'm building something. And it's that foundational. So I don't know, that's why I'm curious and kind of wanted to talk to you about the mindset of I don't mean this negatively, but of a teenager. But you're a teenager.
I am, yeah.
It's crazy. You're now how old?
I'm 17.
You're
18 in June.
You're 17 and you're in season 3.
Yeah.
How many times have you wanted to quit?
Can't count.
So many?
So many times. But, I mean, and I don't mean that in a bit. Like, that's not to reflect the business. But that is, I mean, and I think that's everyone. People don't like to say that about their business, to be like, oh, I wanted to quit, because that makes people maybe they look at their business negatively. But honestly, like, Rocky Road's been doing amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be doing this good at season 3.
You've been on on Springfield TV stations,
statewide, all that.
Yeah.
And the community has been so supportive. Even when I had my expectations set, it wasn't this high. And so we're doing so good. But that's, no matter how good you do, you have to battle. You're going to have those days where you just want to quit. I remember when we walked into the property just to look at it the first time, didn't even know if we were going to do it or not. And I'm looking around and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this here and I could put this here, and I'm all excited. And my mom just pulled me aside. She's like, we support you with this. You've saved up, you've done all this, but you have to know you will not be able to count the amount of times you cry in this building and you break down and you want to quit. And I was like, oh, yeah. She was 100% right. Like, hit the head on the nail right there. But having that, I think that's what will make or break, like, a successful entrepreneur, is because everyone's going to do that. The successful people and the not. But does your want to be successful overpower that? Because sometimes in certain businesses, sometimes you do need to start over, try something different. That does happen, totally does. But I think everyone gets that. Being able to admit and recognize that is just part of the process, and overcome that is so important.
So we've talked about season 1 to season 3. Mm-hmm. You don't have to give me all your secrets or all your plans, but what does season 6 look like, hopefully?
A lot bigger, hopefully. Physically and literally. Definitely, we're definitely looking at, we love our little location, but it's very cramped in there. So we're definitely looking at physically.
You mean you're looking at how do you invest and still make the business run, and how do you take that next? How do we,
and expanding physically. Last year, this, it's not like a secret or anything. Last year we catered our first wedding. That was really fun.
Mobile, everything. Mm-hmm. So at a wedding, you're rolling
ice cream? At a wedding, we had our little corner, we had our machine, and we were rolling up ice cream. And the bride and groom, all the guests were extremely happy. I had a blast. I was the one running it, and I had an absolute blast. We are not to the point where we are marketing that, but that's definitely something we're going to try and focus on over the next. That's one of my personal projects, is to start working at the systems and the pricing and all that. Because that was kind of an experimental thing. Someone reached out and they just really wanted us to do it. And we're like, you know what, we'll make it work.
And you're like...
Oh, it was a lot, but we made it work. And they were happy and we were happy that, we got to learn more about that, see if that was something we wanted to do. And I really enjoyed that.
Like, these keep opening up questions, though. So from a business standpoint, though, and again, I don't need specifics.
No, yeah.
But when someone came to you wanting something that you didn't already do and didn't necessarily have a price tag, like, how did you decide? Like, again, I don't need you to.
No, yeah.
Because that happens to us. That happens to Swino. Like,
yeah.
Like, it is a weird, like.
It's hard to know. Like, I think for me, it was, will I lose anything if I do this? Am I going to go negative? Can I make sure I break even? And it was when I wanted to do it. I love weddings. I wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, sign me up. But I learned information from that. So we didn't necessarily, it was a tester run. So we didn't have specific rates. We made sure that we didn't go under, but that wasn't like a profitable thing, that test. But the information that I gained while doing that was very valuable. And so really that was like, okay, we're at the point where, I need to know these informations because I need to know now if that's, because that doesn't mean, I want to do it, we start doing it tomorrow. It means now like, I like that. Now I'm to the point where I can start working towards that. So that might be another year or so, but.
So you get to make another system.
Yeah. And then like systems for all those systems. And
well, it's
me like my new trigger word is system.
systems. It's a bucket. If it's a system, put it there and we'll get to it. Like, can this be systemized? If this can be systemized.
The answer is always yes. Just as an FYI.
So what can folks look forward to for season 3?
For season 3, we've got some new additions to our menu, some new flavors. We've been trying to for the past couple seasons, but I kind of dropped the ball on having like monthly flavors that are new. Yeah. But I had a few last year, but I wasn't able to keep it consistent. They're already pre-planned. Oh. So I systemized it. That's another. They are pre-planned. Oh my goodness. And so there will be 2 new flavors every single month that people can try.
What's month 1?
Month 1, we have pistachio coconut bliss.
Pistachio. I saw that.
Amazing. And I'm working on my second one. My file isn't downloading. My phone's fighting me. I'm going to have it posted by the end of the day.
Everything. Pistachio is everywhere now.
And that's where I was like.
Who does that?
Huh?
Who's the person sitting back somewhere at some computer or on their phone?
It's one of the lizards in the middle of the earth or something. I don't know. It's the Illuminati. Who knows?
This year we're going to do pistachio. And then next year
it's some TikTok girl. That's what it is. Right. It's some TikTok girl.
It's crazy though. And then we talked with Flower Jack about like pistachio but then they like churched it up and said Dubai, but it's really like
it's still pistachio, guys.
But like Highland Dairy was making pistachio ice cream like 37 years ago.
I've always loved pistachio. Always. Way before this. I'm going to say the most controversial thing right here. Dubai chocolate is so overhyped and I don't like it. Overhyped. I like pistachio. I'm not going to say it's bad. So overhyped.
You know what to me is overhyped? My family, Nutella. It's not chocolate.
It's not chocolate, no.
But everybody's like, it's chocolate. And
I never considered chocolate.
It tastes significantly different than chocolate.
I work with so much more Nutella than the regular person, and it is not chocolate. So
and then how did we get...
It's a butter. It's like hazelnut.
It's hazelnut. So... Like, how did we become...
I think there is cocoa in it, though, isn't there?
I don't know. You would know better than me. I don't think it's chocolate, and I'll fight anyone that wants to talk about it being chocolate.
You can't just call it chocolate.
Yeah,
you can call it, like, chocolate hazelnut spread, maybe. But you can't just refer to it as, like, chocolate and loop it in with the rest of them.
But then, I don't know anybody eating hazelnuts.
They're really good.
Do they taste like Nutella?
Just, like, without sweetened, yeah.
Okay.
They're good. Like, you have them roasted. They're really
good. The only hazel or chestnuts roasted on open fire, hazelnut, like, isn't that a Christmas?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, like a little roasted hazelnut. They're good. Like
so season 3, some new flavors. Consistent new flavors every month.
We've also got, I'm trying to post it. My phone's fighting me. Like I said, I'm not techie, guys. Matcha Dream. So
matcha's huge right now.
Matcha's huge. I'm a matcha person, okay? I'm not niche. I'm not cool. I'm just like everyone else.
What's it taste like? I've never had it.
It's my dad says it tastes like grass. So there's that. It's a leaf. It's a green tea leaf. So it's got that like herbal. If you like drinking like herbal teas and stuff, there's kind of that earthy flavor in there, but it's unique. It's got its own. It's like green tea, just really, really strong green tea. Okay. But then you sweeten it and you add it in ice cream. And then we're going to have, it's got like sweet marshmallow and strawberry with it. It's so good. If you like matcha, come try it. If you've never tried matcha, come try it. So those are our 2 because it's spring. So I'm like going for like green pistachio and matcha. Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to do the green flavors.
So season 3, new flavors.
Yeah, every month. We've added cheesecake to the menu, which is Doesn't seem like the biggest deal, but like it's a big deal. Okay. It took me a long time to get cheesecake on the menu, but we got it.
How are you doing the cheesecake?
We're ordering it.
Okay.
And I would love to, that's one thing, I would love to have a bigger location or be able to have just more physical space, because I would totally bake my mix-ins if I could. We don't have the room.
We still have the room.
We
right
have
now.
a closet with a sink and like shelves.
This sounds terrible, and I don't mean it.
No.
But you have what you're required to have. Like
We do. It's very clean, very up to code, very, very nice. It's tiny. Okay? Like we don't have a public restroom because, you know, like one, you have to go through a kitchen, you can't do that. But then our bathroom back there is like tiny.
There's no room.
Like there's no room. There's none.
You're making the best with what you have.
And we have remodeled that place. That was like a fun project, but oh my goodness, that place was rough. When
Did I
we
see a
moved in
picture of like you got stuff hanging from the ceiling, or you did some new
there. Yeah, we got giant fake sprinkles.
Yeah,
I did that. Cool. It took me 3 days. That shouldn't take 3 days.
How many times did you say, I don't like this, and change it?
I don't know, the entire 3 days. Like all of it.
Fair.
But I love them now. They're so cool. They're so cute. But I had to like hand tie everything, and you have to tie them at the right lengths. And then I'm a perfectionist, so I'm like, are they evenly distributed? And
no one else will pay attention.
not a single person.
And if they come in and are like, ooh.
But you could take a ruler up there and you will see that they are beautifully spaced out so that they don't look too perfect. They need to look perfectly imperfect.
Gotcha. Well, it's going to be fun. Last question.
Yes.
Biggest influence?
It's my mother.
Mom?
My mom, you know, and my dad too. You know, sorry, Dad. It's my mom. It is. I mean, there's tons of like, you know, people online and people in the community that are great, but my mom's the one who's been motivating me and pushing me the entire time, and I have to give her the credit for that.
Moms are different.
They're great.
They're pretty special, huh?
They're really special.
Well, we've talked about it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
have fun editing this.
we've I don't know. It's really cool to see. I know folks look forward to it. My little girl looks forward to going.
What's her favorite thing to get? Does she have like a thing?
She is like that birthday cakey.
The Tutti Frutti. Yeah.
Anything. But then like she'll get random. But like dad me has a problem because like I wanna like she's not gonna eat it all. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, like I wanna enjoy like it's you'll learn as a parent.
It's like, no, we're getting this flavor. You're going to eat your 4 bites, and then I'm going to finish it off.
Right. As a parent, one of the biggest letdowns is when your child gets something you don't like, because you know, like at some point you're going to either not have it, and like with my 2, like they're going to take literally 2 bites.
Yeah.
And then they're either going to forget to put it in the freezer or it's going to melt.
We do have a kids cup option now, so it's smaller. That might help, but it might not. I don't know.
Well, see, that's the other problem I got. I got a 20-year-old who wants the adult everything. So if you get him a kid, it comes out, it's the same. But no, my girls are big. Both of my girls are not chocolate fans.
Me either.
And so like and my wife is diehard chocolate. Mm-hmm.
So you got all the different tastes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you any kind of chocolate. She likes some peanut butter. But like me, I'm a big, like, if I can have some coffee flavor in my ice cream.
That is a new flavor on our menu.
That's kind of where I get. Like if I can throw some coffee in there. Oh, yeah. That's what I want. Like I'm a big magic shell person. Like so when we have ice cream at home, like I always have to have a little bit of magic shell. And then my wife is like, I've got a chocolate everything ice cream. Better put some magic shell.
Got like chocolate syrup with a little ice cream on top. And
So that's us. But no.
Yeah. I always like to ask people that because everyone likes different stuff, but you can like learn so much about a person from what they like order, and it's so much fun. Like I love to sit and just like, oh, you ordered that, okay.
I envied that side of you because it does. I feel like it would be the uniqueness of what you do and the constant changing and like, yeah, you have a menu and you have
but
things.
we get
right.
the
And
craziest stuff.
You embrace that too. We talked about that in the
so
beginning.
much fun.
Like,
It's a blast.
It breaks the monotony. It changes things up. And I like that about what you're doing and that option that you give people, because it is truly unique and it is an experience going in. Yeah. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me. This has been a blast.
You should be very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you very
much. It really is cool because your generation gets pigeonholed a little bit. And
some of it we deserve, but
we're very fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of young people doing some incredible things on the field, off the field, in business, in the community, philanthropy, all of the things. So
we've got a lot of youth here in Lebanon,
and it feels like there's kids doing something of everything everywhere, and it's just more opportunity to highlight what they're doing. And I don't know, this is really cool. Yeah. That's why we wanted you to kind of be the first one in this studio, because I think you're such a crossover of what we're doing with the Jacket Nation side and youth and sports and activities and all the things. And then on this side, we're marketing and
kind of in the middle.
Yeah. And so you can talk about all that stuff. You're very well spoken, by the way.
That's good. I was like, we're going to go for it. Thank you.
It's neat. And season 3. So I'm excited for you. And again, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. One last thing. Shout out to my sister. She's the best, but she'll kill me if I don't say anything. Just gonna throw
about
that
her,
there.
Or what do you
just she's the best. She's the best. I didn't mention her the whole time, and if I don't say something, she'll get mad at me and she'll kill me. So
gotcha. Well, Emily, thank you. Best of luck in season 3.
Thank you so much.